Harry Potter's third year at Hogwarts School of Witchcraft and Wizardry began like any other. He was excited to be back with his best friends, Ron and Hermione. But something strange was happening. The school was being guarded by Dementors, scary creatures that made Harry feel very cold and sad. They were there to protect everyone from Sirius Black, a dangerous wizard who had escaped from the prison, Azkaban. Harry soon received a magical gift, the Marauder's map. This map showed him every inch of Hogwarts and everyone in it. It even revealed secret passages. The map became very important to Harry. He used it to sneak around the school and avoid the Dementors. One day, the map showed something very odd. It showed Peter Pettigrew inside the castle. But that couldn't be right. Peter Pettigrew was supposed to be dead. Harry couldn't understand why the map would lie to him. He started to wonder who Peter Pettigrew really was, and why his name would appear on the map. He knew he had to find out more. This mystery made Harry feel curious and a bit scared. As Harry explored the castle with the help of the Marauder's map, he started hearing whispers about Sirius Black. People said Black was a dangerous wizard who had betrayed Harry's parents. They said he was friends with Lord Voldemort, the evil wizard who had tried to kill Harry when he was a baby. Harry was scared and confused. He didn't understand why Sirius Black would want to hurt him. He wanted to know more about this mysterious prisoner, but no one wanted to talk about Sirius Black, especially not his friends Ron and Hermione. One day, Harry overheard a conversation between Professor McGonagall and Professor Flitwick. They were talking about how Black had been Harry's father's best friend. They also mentioned that Black was Harry's godfather.
And he was James Potter's best friend, you know, not to mention Harry's godfather.
Harry was shocked. He had never known his godfather. Why hadn't anyone told him about Sirius Black before? Harry's defense against the dark arts teacher that year was Professor Lupin. Professor Lupin was a kind and gentle man who seemed to understand Harry's fears. He taught Harry how to defend himself against Dementors and other dark creatures. During one of their lessons, Professor Lupin showed Harry how to perform the Patronus charm. This charm could drive away Dementors. But Harry was having trouble with the charm. He needed a happy memory to focus on, but the Dementors made him feel so sad that he couldn't think of anything happy.
All right, Harry, you need to think of a happy memory, something that makes you feel truly joyful.
While practicing the Patronus charm, Harry's mind was flooded with images of his parents' deaths. He saw a flash of green light and heard his mother scream. He felt a surge of terror and despair. Professor Lupin quickly stopped the lesson, looking concerned.
Harry, that's enough for today. I think we need to take a break.
Professor Lupin realized that Harry's connection to the Dementors was deeper than he had thought. One stormy night, Harry, Ron and Hermione snuck out of Hogwarts to go to Hogsmeade, a nearby village. They used the Marauder's map to avoid being caught, but while they were in Hogsmeade, they saw something terrifying. Professor McGonagall was carrying Ron's pet rat Scabbers, and following close behind her was Sirius Black. Harry, Ron and Hermione followed them to a creepy old house on the edge of the Forbidden Forest called the Shrieking Shack. They thought Sirius Black was going to hurt Ron's rat, so they went inside. But what they found inside was even more shocking. Inside the Shrieking Shack, Sirius Black stood before them. But he wasn't holding a weapon. He was holding Scabbers, and he was talking to Ron. Black called Scabbers a rat and accused him of being a wizard in disguise. Harry didn't understand what was happening. Why was Sirius Black so interested in Ron's pet rat? Just when things couldn't get any more confusing, Professor Lupin arrived.
But instead of arresting Sirius Black, he greeted him like an old friend.
It turned out that Professor Lupin and Sirius Black had been best friends with Harry's father when they were all at Hogwarts together.
I didn't betray Harry's parents. It was Peter Pettigrew who had betrayed them.
Black said that Pettigrew was a Death Eater, a follower of Lord Voldemort.
He had faked his own death and had been hiding as Ron's pet rat all this time?
Lupin confirmed Black's story.
I recognized Pettigrew's animagus form on the Marauder's map. I had known the truth all along.
Harry couldn't believe it. Ron's pet rat was a traitor. Suddenly, everything became clear. Sirius Black wasn't a dangerous murderer, he was innocent. But before they could do anything, the full moon appeared in the sky, and Professor Lupin transformed into a werewolf. In the chaos, Pettigrew escaped, and Sirius Black was captured by the Dementors. Harry and Hermione knew they had to save Sirius Black. He was innocent, and they had proof. But how could they possibly fight off Dementors and convince everyone that Black was telling the truth? They needed a miracle. Dumbledore arrived at the Shrieking Shack, his eyes twinkling wisely. He had a plan. He gave Hermione a mysterious object, a time turner. This magical device would allow them to go back in time and fix everything. But they had to be very careful not to be seen. Harry and Hermione traveled back in time 3 hours. They had to be very careful not to be seen by their past selves. Their first mission was to save Buckbeak, a hippogriff who was sentenced to death because of a misunderstanding with Draco Malfoy. Using the invisibility cloak, Harry and Hermione successfully freed Buckbeak. They flew away from Hogwarts, just as the Dementors were arriving to perform the Dementors' kiss on Sirius Black. Harry knew he had to do something to save his godfather. As the Dementors descended upon them, Harry raised his wand. He tried to think of a happy memory, but all he could see was the menacing face of Sirius Black from the wanted poster. He felt utterly hopeless. Just when all hope seemed lost, a powerful Patronus in the shape of a stag burst forth from Harry's wand. It charged at the Dementors, driving them away. Harry had produced a Patronus, but how? He hadn't seen anyone to focus on. Harry rushed to the lake and saw his past self being dragged towards the water by a Dementor. But before the Dementor could harm him, a silvery Patronus in the shape of a stag appeared again, repelling the Dementor. Harry realized that it was he who had cast the Patronus, his future self. He had saved himself and Sirius. With the Dementors gone, Harry and Hermione helped Sirius Black escape on Buckbeak's back. They had saved an innocent man and learned a valuable lesson about trust and betrayal. Harry's third year at Hogwarts had been the most challenging yet. He had faced terrifying creatures, uncovered shocking truths, and even traveled through time. But most importantly, he had learned about his parents and the sacrifices they had made for him. He had also learned the importance of trusting his instincts and fighting for what he believed in. Even though the world seemed full of darkness and danger, there was still light and hope to be found. Harry had faced his fears and emerged stronger than ever. As he boarded the Hogwarts Express to return home, Harry carried the weight of his experiences with him. He knew that life would always be full of challenges, but he also knew that he had true friends by his side and the courage to face whatever came his way. He had found a sense of belonging and purpose in the fight against darkness, and he knew that his journey was far from over.